Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So this week is update time for iRacing. It's week 13, so got a lot of unofficial races going while they put out the new update for season 2. Of course, season 2 will get started next week. Figured I'll do a video. We'll check out the new road track, Hockenheim, run a few laps there. But before we get into that, let's just go over some of the highlights of the update here. I'm not going to go through the entire patch notes. It's super long with a whole lot of little changes here and there. Um, but I will leave a link in the description to that if you want to check out everything for yourself. But for now, let's just go through some of the highlights quick and then we'll jump out on track. So, first thing, we got cars here. Not much being added to the sim this update in terms of cars. There were a bunch added last update, so guess it's to be expected. Really, just the super late model has had a complete overhaul and redo. So, not a completely new car, but kind of a completely new car there. That's for all you that run oval mostly. Something I don't do much, so I can't speak to what the old version was compared to the new. Though, do want to try to get into a little more oval racing probably coming up. So, watch my streams for that. Other than that, tracks, that's where the big headliner is, and then some other smaller additions. So, as I mentioned, Hockenheim added. Um, this is a great track. I've run it a ton in race room. I've already purchased it in iRacing. I've run a few practice laps. Uh, Pretty identical to race rooms version, so it was pretty quick to get up to speed. Uh, but I've always loved Hockenheim. It's just a crazy fun track to race on. Beyond that, we've got Bark River, which is a off-road track. So for a lot of you dirt racers out there, got the addition there. But Dirt's also had some more additions based on current tracks already found in the game. So Bristol getting a dirt oval version or layout configuration, whatever you want to call it. And then Barcelona Catalunya is getting their rallycross configuration added to the sim. Don't know if we'll get to it in this video. I do own that track though, so I will try out that rallycross version of the track. But that may be on a future stream, or I may add it to this video. We'll see. Some new series added to the sim. On the road side, we've got the GT3 Challenge, uh, which seems like it could be an interesting series. Not sure exactly what class. Here it's got listed Class C, but in a previous release of the schedule they put out, it was listed under Class B. So I'm not sure. Now that it's out and this is their official splash page, I'm assuming it's going to be Class C. Uh, but according to that schedule, it is a fixed setup race. So all GT3s, but fixed setup, which is nice for just when you want to jump in and run and not worry about setups and everything else. Also, to go in with that, just kind of jump in and races. They're 20-minute races, so short races. We'll bring up the schedule real quick here. I took a look earlier, and really looks like it's a really good schedule, to tell you the truth. Uh, at least in terms of my tastes, it's got most of what I like. Nürburgring combined, I'm not too keen on. Nordschleife for racing is, it's fine for running laps, but I don't like actually doing races on it. But other than that, across the board looks to be all great races. Then on the dirt side, dirt ovals, we've got the UMP modified series, Class B. Can't speak to it too much. I don't run dirt oval that much. I actually ran a week 13 dirt oval race just a couple days ago. First time I've done it in probably since dirt oval was released. So they're fun. It's just haven't got into it too much and, you know, limited time and everything, but I might try that out. So on the features, AI getting a big boost, GT3s all added. If you're wanting to run some single player races with AI, GT3 all added to the list of cars that can run AI. A whole bunch of tracks have been added to it as well. So we'll see like GT3s, Auto Club Speedway, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, along with the South Road Course, all added to AI. Hockenheim as well, getting it right from the start. So if you're into practicing, just playing single player with AI, some nice additions there. Paint shop has been overhauled. I've checked this out. It's kind of more of a layout type thing. Actually, I'll bring that up right now. The actual functionality of it isn't hasn't really changed at all. See if we go to paint shop here, layouts changed. If you use trading paints or custom paints, you can now see it in the paint shop. That's a nice little addition if you're just wanting to get a closer look or maybe get a good screenshot or something of the car. Otherwise, though, I mean, the layout's different. You get a bigger preview screen, but in terms of functionality, as far as I can tell, it's pretty much the same across the board as it always has been. So, not too much to really touch on there. New damage model has been added to a bunch of cars, including the Dallara IR, Formula Renault 2.0, which is a car I race, so that's nice. Then we've got the 87 NASCAR Cup Series and Street Stock all added to the, or having the new damage model added to them. And then there's been various audio visual improvements and other tweaks to the game. We'll say from a couple practice laps I run, the smoke and dust, volumetric and lighting updates makes a big difference. When people spin or anything, the smoke created by that seems a lot thicker and a lot harder to see through. But as we jump into a race here, they're unofficial, so we're more than likely to see some cars spinning, so you'll probably see that there. And like I said, a whole bunch of other tweaks added to it. We bring up the release notes here. Oh, that's not it. You can see they just go on and on and on and on. So I'll leave the link for those in the description. If you want to check them out and read through all that yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to jump into a race right now and we'll be right back. All right, everyone, I'm back.
Yeah, that should be good.
Just about to get into the GT4s here at Hockenheim. This is the National A course, so it's cut out a bit of the straight and the very sharp hairpin. It's got a double apex right-hander instead. I will get gridded up here before it's too late, but so it's a bit of a smaller version of the track, so not quite as small as the short layout. But this is the one the GT4s are running at today, so I managed to get in a couple practice laps before qualifying, which I know most of the track. I've done some practice laps in the GT3s yesterday. Just trying to learn this this double right-hander here. Normally you'd keep going off to the left there in the Grand Prix configuration. Here it cuts short and you take that little double apex. So one thing off the bat to mention with this track, during practice in VR and now on monitor, the frame rates and everything are way below typical iRacing tracks. This one is definitely harder on the system to run. Like right now I'm sitting at 45 FPS on monitor, which typically, like at Daytona, I'm running in the 200s. Granted, all the cars are bunched up right now. That will go up as the cars spread out, but it is up there with Long Beach in terms of the horsepower it takes to run it. The other thing is, I'm not sure if it's along with this track or maybe it's what's causing is those lighting and particles and smoke changes might just in general be taking up more power. Hard to say though, as I haven't really run any other tracks since the update, so can't say how the performance at other tracks may or may not have changed. This one definitely seems to be harder on the computer. This is an unofficial race, but it is open setup, so I don't have anything for this car in this track, so I'm just using baseline sprint setup and hoping it works and hoping that the fuel is correct for a 15-minute race.
On your left. Clear left.
This blue car behind me is getting a little antsy. Did not want to turn in there.
Car right. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right.
Just pull them off still though. One thing with this track is these big runoffs, and they have not been stingy with the boundaries in terms of what's an off track. You can go quite a ways off most of them. Another nice thing is these big runoffs, should you spin or get into some sort of mess. Realistically, anywhere that's going to happen, you're probably not going to hit a wall or anything. Still getting used to that turn. I'm getting slowed down in time. A little slidey there. Little slow through there.
The leader's just done it, 130.86. 0. Track
Did
limits.
get an off track there. Just pushed it a little too far. Like, you can see I get up to around 100, and this is my. I've recently upgraded my computer to a Ryzen 5600X with an RTX 3080, so typically in iRacing, frame rates, especially on monitor, a single monitor, are no issue at all. And granted, they're still high enough for me that's not an issue, but they're definitely way, way lower than most tracks. Long Beach being the last one they released was more of the same like that. But definitely making higher detailed tracks that
Behind is now 3.6
taking
seconds.
more power to run.
Okay, Matt, there's a car exit.
So I feel like
up.
Long Beach kind of seemed to get optimized. Felt like performance got a little better as the weeks went on.
Right side, clear right.
But that could have just been a placebo or something.
You've got 10 minutes left, 10 minutes to go. Keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us.
Not really getting the race with anyone here. Everyone ahead of me is way ahead of me, and people behind me are quite a ways back. I'm not overly quick here in this car. I'm not overly quick in GT4s in general. I like them, just not overly quick in them.
E7.
Late on the brakes there.
The leader is just
I'm just not paying enough attention.
5.9.
But it's an unranked race, so ultimately, however I do doesn't really matter at all.
Car left. Clear left.
Yeah, you can definitely go out wide on exits. A bunch of corners you can cut a little bit. That one. Although I find most of the corners,
Okay,
while you
Matt,
can
halfway
cut
home,
them
fuel's good.
and not get an off track, it's not typically a lot of these corners, the curbs and whatnot are pretty aggressive, so it's not typically the quickest way, at least for me. good time around that corner. Looks like Aaron's catching me a bit here. That right, you can cut, but the way that curve kind of cuts off, it can completely throw off the stability of your car if you do so. Sure, there's guys out there that can do it no problem. I've just found it not to be the quicker way for me.
The gap to Quinn behind is now 1.9. Sectors 1 and 2 are 1.1 seconds off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace. That's 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes.
But overall, this track is, I mean, even the shorter version. I prefer the full Grand Prix version, but even this National A layout is still really fun. But I knew that coming in. I've raced this track enough times in other sims, especially Race Room, that I knew I was going to enjoy this track.
Just done at 133.13.
Aaron's catching me pretty quick now.
Okay, Matt, you've got half your fuel left.
Alright, so definitely I was on the brakes way early there. Definitely took a little too much fuel for this race, but doesn't matter much. Like I said, it's unranked.
Left side, clear left.
Just done
Yeah, I hope they'll fix the
Alright, Matt, 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
frame rates a bit. I'm actually kind of surprised it's as low as it is while I'm racing on a single monitor. So while I noticed definitely frame rates were lower than typical in VR, so my settings are typically always 90 frames per second in VR. But on some of the harder tracks like Long Beach and whatnot, it might dip in dip down, especially at the start of races where everyone's bunched up, but so I got kind of the same thing in VR practicing on this track. So it is a little lower, it dipped down a little bit, but not egregiously so, so I'm surprised frame rates are this much lower on a single monitor. Really seems like this is taking more of a hit than VR has, for some weird reason. Alright, last lap and Aaron's caught me here. I think I'm up to 6 now, someone went off.
6th place. One more to go. That was
See how hard Aaron pushes
Good lap. That's your quickest so
this
far.
lap, or if he tries some crazy dive bomb, because we don't really gotta worry about SR or nothing like that. A little too hard there.
Stay between the lines, please,
It
Matt.
looks like he kind of slowed up at some point. And one thing with this, especially this version of track, not as many decent spots to try to make a pass or anything. Grand Prix version's a little
2
better
minutes to
with
go. 2 minutes.
the longer straightaway.
V6. And there's
Alright.
the finish. Good
That'll
result, mate.
do
Well
it.
done.
6th place. But that'll do it. That's Hockenheim. I would have preferred to do this on video with the full Grand Prix version, but right now the only one doing that's the Porsche Cup, which is still ranked, and that car is hard enough to drive as it is, and it's classified as rookie too, so you take even a bigger hit with SR and stuff, so I don't want to do that one. That car, I need to put in a lot of practice laps at any given track to get consistent in that car, so but otherwise that's that. I'll probably stream later in the week where I'll race some more Hockenheim. So check that out. Like I said before, if you want to take a look at the full release notes, I will put a link in the description. And thanks for joining. If you wouldn't mind, please subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.